today we're going to give you a tour of the boat. A lot of people have asked us about different parts of our lifestyle. So this is really for the non-boat people, but of course boat people want to watch this stuff too. Let's start at the front. We're obviously outside the boat. This is the bow, it's the pointy end, it's the front. And you'll see we have our anchor down because we're on the hook. On the hook is when you're at anchor, and that's our ground tackle, which is what keeps us attached to the ground. Here's the cabin top, and not a whole lot happens up here. Sometimes we'll have happy hour up here because it's a nice big space to sit. And these are the hatches. We have 4 hatches that are on top. You know what that is on this boat? Air conditioning. This is the mast, and it's got all the rigging and everything. The stick that's supposed to stay up. So these are important parts of the rigging. They're called shrouds. They hold the mast up, so people will grab onto them a lot. This is our Dodger. This keeps us safe from the wind and the rain, keeps us out of the elements, makes our cockpit a nice livable space. I mentioned the cockpit, I'm going to show you that right now. This is basically our living room, and you can see why we would want shelter from the wind. Look down. This is the propane locker. It's kind of gross because it's dirty, but that's where we keep our propane tanks. That is how we cook. We have a propane stove on the inside. Now we're on the aft deck because this is a center cockpit boat, so the cockpit's in the center. It's called a lazarette. It's my aft lazarette. Those are dock lines. So when we pull up to a marina, Sarah's at the ready. She's got the dock lines on the cleats and ready to throw them to a deckhand so we can get pulled in safely. And there's the dink. So this is a hard bimini. It came with the boat. I really love it. It's an excellent feature. Not only do we have these handy grab rails, but it gave me a wonderful platform to put the solar panels on. We have 350 watts of solar. If I was a wishing woman, I'd want 700 watts of solar, but we had room and budget for 350, and we're doing okay with 350. These are the things that make all the noise when we turn the boat. This is a winch. And that's the noise you hear, click, 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 when it's spinning around when we tack or when we jibe. It's a happy sound. Now we're at the helm station in the cockpit. This is where all the driving happens. The chart plotter. We've got a VHF radio. This is the radar. I use the compass a lot. It's a nice old school instrument and it's wonderful. Speaking of old school, we do have Autopilot on this boat, but I'm pretty sure it's older than the boat. It's from about the 1800s. It's this belt-driven Autopilot. It works great. One more important thing about the cockpit, the most important, is the whip cubby. I'm not sure what William Shaw was thinking when he designed this boat, but he might have had a cat. I don't know. Now we're gonna go downstairs, and this is a ladder. These aren't stairs, so I always encourage my guests to go backwards or you will fall down. Right, Sarah? All right, so now we're downstairs. Anything that you see that looks cozy or nice or a little more attractive is all credit to Sarah, because she came on here and she was like, how about if we make it look homier? So we have a nice little runner that we cut to go around our table floors. We have an enormous dining table. We keep this leaf up most often because it's just easier to have that surface there. And then this one flops down so you can have access to the V-Berth. But lots of room for card games. Good dinner parties happening here. Not that he's spoiled, but we did convert this into a scratching post for whip, and he loves it. He scratches on it every day. It's really sturdy so it can handle it, and it's really long so he can stretch and get all his exercise. Whippy, come here, buddy. Come here. Come on. This Parrot came with the boat. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to keep it on the boat after I bought it. So Grace and I named him Lucky. So thought it'd be a good little talisman. Coming forward, we're in the V-Berth. We're at the front of the boat, the pointy end again. Sorry, it's a staging area right now for a lot of things. So when we don't have guests, it ends up collecting things. but it's actually quite large. 2 adults can sleep here comfortably, even if they don't like each other. This is the forward head. Oh, hello. It's quite cozy with a toilet, but you can take a shower in here with the shower handle that drips. Now we're in the galley. A lot of people want to know, how do we cook? I mean, we don't live on public subs all the time. We cook really good meals. So this is the stove. We'll call it a 3-burner, but one of them doesn't work. So it's really a 2-burner stove when I have to be strategic. And then you saw that countertop just comes back up for surface area if you're not cooking. This is the refrigerator. It's top-loading fridge. The idea on sailboats with top-loading fridge is cold air sinks. So that is more efficient when you open it and have to look. Good, all the vegetables are on top. So all the candy's on the bottom. And it's nice that we can have a split, we can open it split. And there's a little freezer box back there, so we do actually have frozen things. We can even make ice, but we can't keep ice cream, and that's probably for the best. Oh, this is the Nav Station. This is such a great Nav Station because it's got a little side compartment here as well, which ends up collecting things. But it's a nice area. Still using paper charts in addition to all the electronics that we have. And this is my ship's log. So I've been tracking engine hours and fuel consumption. I don't have an engine meter. We have redundancy here with a second VHF radio and a second GPS. And this is just for the dance party. That's our hotspot for the internet. This is our other hotspot for the internet. And the Nav Station has more storage underneath, pens, batteries. This is the control panel. It's where all the house electricity is managed. And so when we're at anchor, we have use of all of these elements, and when we're on shore power, we have use of all these elements. You'll see air conditioning is on that one, which is why I mentioned the hatch earlier. This is the engine room. Turn on there's a little bit of light for you. And that's where we do a visual check whenever we're underway, and I can check the oil right here. It's a dipstick, just like on a car. And there's more access to the engine room. This is where the boat people will care, and the non-boat people will be like, oh, whatever. This is a gear hammock. We keep our sailing gloves and all the buffs and stuff in there. Keeps it out of the way, easy to grab. Okay, here's the aft cabin. One of the nice things about the center cockpit design is it does divide the house into the forward and the aft. So all the living space is in the middle, which makes it really nice when you're traveling with friends because you do actually get some privacy. It's a double bed. It's not huge. Sorry, there's a wake from a boat that just went by. Hold on. Here we are in the second bathroom. What's that you say? 2 bathrooms? It's a 2-2. And a separate shower. It's luxurious, I tell ya. If you watch our mattress video, you'll be able to see all the storage that we have under the mattress. Like, there's storage everywhere. And then we created additional storage for our t-shirts and shorts and stuff like that, because this is essentially our dresser, which is 4 drawers. This is traditionally a hanging locker, but when we decided Sarah was going to move on the boat and she needed more clothing storage, I took out the hanging parts and I made these shelves. So there's shoes on the bottom, and then these bins come out for easy clothing retrieval, and then they just stow nicely right back in there. Except there was a box in the back. But normally, that's the boat. It's a 1984 Pearson 385. I love this boat. She sails like a dream. She's really comfortable to live in. If you have questions, let us know, because I kind of like to talk about the boat. Thanks for watching. Right here. Good boy.
If you like what you're seeing here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment.